what are we talking about? Just so I know.
I'm going to start with the debate.
Okay.
What is up? That was a wild one. That was a wild one. Give us 1 second here. Let us get us pulled up. We got things a little upside down over here. Last minute changes.
My hair looks awful.
Oh, your hair looks fine. Let's see. All right, man, we look good. I'm looking at us on the TV. We have like all this cool YouTube channel stuff over here, and then we have a Chinette over there. Man, welcome to JXN Uncensored. We're here to discuss the shenanigans we just saw on TV and the shenanigans that have been going on in Jacktown today. And has it been some shenanigans? I don't even know where to start. I need a bigger desk. Or I need to start working from the center, one or the other. Let's see here. Let me hit the share button real quick. What's everybody up to tonight? Man, y'all jump in the comments. I got a big question. First question. Did you come out of the debates and change your mind on who you're voting for? Are you voting? Did you come in voting for Trump and come out voting for Biden? Did you go in voting for Biden and come out voting for Trump? I'd just be real curious to know. I mean, does anybody... I mean, I enjoy these things. They're great theater. But this close to an election, is there really anybody undecided? I mean, either you're pro-abortion or pro-life. You're pro-law enforcement or you're pro-rights. Mm-hmm. I mean... You're pro-welfare state or you're pro-capitalism. You know, I don't think that anything you hear in a debate changes that, does it? No. I didn't think so.
It doesn't for me.
So, you know, it's, they're fun, but I feel like they're kind of a waste of time. But, hey, we're here. Look, Crystal, thank God, she saw me over there struggling making notes because I can't write fast enough. She made a ton of notes.
If you could read them.
Look, we're gonna backtrack to the debate. Let it settle in for just a second. Look, I want to welcome a brand new sponsor onto the show. Been working on this for a while. It all lined up. USA Pawn. Thank you to my buddy Nick Fulton and the crew over there. They are the new title sponsor of basically everything we're going to be doing here at Save Jackson. Live videos, social media posts, and the radio show starting this Saturday on WYAB 103.9 right here in Jackson at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. to noon every Saturday, starting this Saturday on 103.9. Thank you to Nick and the crew over at USA Pawn. You can check them out online at usapawn.com. They have multiple locations all over the metro area. Woodrow Wilson, Ellis Avenue and Lynch, they're on the corner. Mm-hmm. McDowell Road, the Superstore, Pearl, Vicksburg, and Canton, I believe. I think it's 6 locations. Mm-hmm. So, and they'll correct me if I'm wrong there, but again, usapawn.com, the mega store right there on McDowell Road. You can get guns and all that there, new ammo, the whole 9 yards. Great stuff, great people. If you need to borrow money, it's a great place to go borrow money. I'm telling you, you cannot go wrong. I spent the day with Nick and the crew not too long ago. We did a video about it, talked to him for a while. Me and Napoleon had him on the show a few months ago, discussed everything going on, and just really learned a lot about the pawn business that I did not know. Also, want to thank the gym at Byram. And be sure to check them out. thegym@byram.com, located right there at 136 Byram Parkway. You can reach them at 372-2229. thegym@byram.com. The Gym at Byram on all your social media channels. Full service, 24 hours. Basketball, swimming, tennis, fitness, weights, tanning beds. You name it, they've got it. Cross training. So, and then check out my buddy Danny White over at Father and a Son Southern Lawn Care. They're on Facebook at Father and Son Southern Lawn Care. And of course, I do not have their phone number pulled up here right this second because I am not a trained professional. All right, 601-301-3210. That is Father and a Son Southern Lawn Care, servicing the Tri-County area, mainly in the suburbs. 601-301-3210. Danny White and the crew, USA Pawn, the gym at Byram. We could not do what we do without the support of small business. So we do appreciate you guys.
We do.
Speaking of the gym, I need to get my butt back in. I missed the whole week. All right. You saw this morning that Napoleon with the cipher voice and up to 20 or so JPD officers. Well, Napoleon had a press conference speaking for up to 20 or so JPD officers.
At 6 o'clock.
At 6 a.m. this morning on the steps of JPD. And Jackson had its first known case of a mass blue flu. Never happened before, that as far as we're aware of in the city. And they've had enough. And I know I've seen people say, oh, they just need to go to work. Well, look, man, imagine you started a job. You've been there 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. And they hire a guy with that came into the job with the same amount of experience as you came into it with. And they're paying them $4,000 or $5,000 more a year or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And you've yet to get that same raise. Would you not be pissed off too? I'd be irate. You know, I guess in Mississippi it's kind of a no-strike state. I don't understand. I haven't read the rule there, but I guess I'm seeing that Shad White will come after you if you strike. You know, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the rule there is. It's not my specialty or my forte, but we'll look into it. I'm sure somebody will let us know. But I'm just telling you, man, it's crazy. The mayor, I've got it pulled up here. All right, this is something that y'all know is very close to me here. Anything to do with Jackson. I love the national stuff, but this is our bread and butter. This is what I'm passionate about. That's what Crystal's passionate about. So on WLBT.com, Jackson Police Chief and Mayor disagree on why 20-plus officers called out sick. And keep in mind that Chief Davis was out of town today, too. So
Convenient.
Yep. So let's see here. CJ LeMasters on WLBT is reporting. And make sure I'm giving credit where credit's due here. All this started with Napoleon this morning at 6 a.m. from the cipher voice on the steps of the JPD. And it's trickled down. So WLBT is reporting mixed messages from Jackson's mayor and police chief underscore a growing debate raging within the ranks of the Jackson Police Department concerning better wages, a debate which city leaders believe led to more than 20 officers calling in sick Tuesday. The term blue flu has been used by current and former JPD employees to describe the surge in sick claims, which implies those officers stayed home to send a message to their supervisors in the city. Tuesday's actions come just days before bumps in pay are slated to begin for recruits and officers with less than 10 years experience. Chokwe Antar Lumumba said the city and police department were able to address Tuesday's drop in personnel because they had been tipped off about it. We got word Monday afternoon that there would be a few officers deciding to demonstrate a blue flu out of disappointment that they would not be experiencing a raise on their level. A raise on their level. I'm guessing he means a pay raise.
Yeah.
Lumumba made accommodations within specialized units so that if someone received the call, if there's a call for service, there will be a JPD officer that will respond to that call for service. A few hours later, JPD Chief James Davis sent out a statement contradicting the mayor's words. It is blatant speculation that those police officers that are out on personal sick, family, or medical leave today in the Jackson Police Department are out as a result of blue flu. Davis said in a statement that the fact that we have several officers out today, either for personal, sick, family, or medical leave, is purely coincidental. If it was If it was coincidental, though, how did Lumumba and the city know about it a day in advance? I don't think they did. And listening to Napoleon tonight, I think it's pretty obvious that they didn't. You know, and I think it's kind of funny that the mayor and the chief are going at it. Because, like it was said earlier, like the chief or not, blue going back blue. You know, that's why I wore blue tonight. And because it's patriotic. We back the blue. And as much as I hate to see them take off work and have to do this, I completely back the reason they're doing it. I think people need to appreciate the police a lot more, especially in the inner cities. And understand, I mean, look, today we had a double shooting there on Bailey Avenue. One guy died, the other's in the hospital in critical condition. I mean, just another day in Jackson. It could have happened any day, but it happened today with the blue flu. Finishing up this article. 3 on Your Side reached out to Lumumba. Lumumba's communication director, Makani Thimba, for comment on Davis' assertions, but did not receive a response. Is there anybody in this administration with a normal name?
No, there's not. I've looked.
I know, look, I get it. That's disrespectful. I just don't care. I mean, nobody in Mississippi was up for one of these jobs. Officer pay in JPD has been a major topic of conversation among the rank and file for years. The city council members pointing to morale issues from low salaries and scenarios where officers leave because of better pay in other metro cities. The reality is that we could never pay all of our public safety what they deserve based on the sacrifice, Lumumba said. What a generic answer. Lumumba said he's proud that with next month's increase in salary, JPD will be more in line with its bedroom communities. The only place that you can go that pays an experienced officer more would be the Highway Patrol, Lumumba said, citing information provided by the city that shows MHP starting salary of $41,000. By contrast, JPD recruits start out making $26,418. That's basically, what, 35% less? A salary that increased to $31,659, which is still $9,341 less after 1 year. So, sure. So the bedroom communities make more money. And the bedroom communities also didn't just have their 94th homicide this year. I know you can say Jackson has more population, it's a bigger city, yada, yada, yada. But per capita, it's still 100 times more dangerous than anywhere else in the city.
Agreed. In
the Tri-County area.
People are asking about the cabin we rented.
We'll get back to the cabin.
Okay.
Yep. We'll jump into the fun stuff towards the end here. Let me see here. Let me pull mine up so I can see y'all's comments here. But we're gonna stay on Jackson and stuff for a minute, and then we'll jump into the debates. Y'all give me 1 second here. I don't know if y'all try to pull up anything on the Facebook business app every now and then, but it is a nightmare to actually get to where you want to go. They have so much crap at the top of the pages. They're just like scroll, 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 just to get to your most recent post. All right. So, where do I want to go from that? All right, so blue flu, what do y'all think? Do you support it? My understanding is today was just the beginning. It is not a one-day thing. It is going to be persisting until they get their pay raise. And as much as I hate being without a single policeman, I support it 100%. 100%. All right, where do we want to go next?
Says I'm 100% with the officers. They don't do it for the money. They have to live, though. A Madison officer gets roughly $2,200 a month, I believe.
All right. So, staying on the subject of law enforcement in Hinds County. Actually. Yeah,
I'm
here it
just
is.
going through.
You going through the comments?
Yeah.
We'll get back to the comments here in a minute.
Somebody says, what is blue flu?
Blue flu is when police basically have an artificial strike by all calling in sick at the same time. So, you know, the old saying, back the blue, well, the blue being police. So, it is it most recently happened in Atlanta after the cop had to shoot the guy there who stole his stun gun, and then they started rioting, and they arrested the cop for murder. All of Atlanta PD, for the most part, called in with the blue flu. Mm-hmm. So that kind of well, I don't know if it restarted it, but it brought it to national attention that it was a thing. Because I'll be honest, I'd never heard of it and had to ask on the radio one day, what is blue flu?
Yeah.
And so it is a new term to me, but I've heard it so much lately that it just feels like something I've known my whole life. So, on the subject of law enforcement in the city, here's another story on WLBT. It says, Jackson councilman urges city to seek federal help to fight crime. Not the mayor, just the city councilman. Ward 1 Councilman Ashley Foote is urging city to seek federal help to address its spike in violent crime. Through September 27th, Foote said in the capital city has experienced 48% increase in overall violent crime, including a 217.8% increase in carjackings and 44.4% increase in homicides. And y'all don't understand why, and by y'all I just mean the mayor and everybody, why making 9,000 less than Jackson is not a good thing. I think that qualifies as a crisis. We should seek assistance from the federal government. Who has more money than we will ever have and more manpower than we have, he said. We need to seek assistance to address this, otherwise we're derelict in our duties. Y'all been derelict in your duties for a long time, and not just you, but going way back for the last 25 years, this city has been derelict in its duties to provide basic anything to its citizens, except reasons to blame it on everybody and people who have left the city. Meanwhile, we are 3 murders away. The countdown is on. 3 murders away. 4, if the city is counting, from tying the 1994 record of 97 murders. With all of November and all of December to get there. So, I mean, it's safe to say that we're going to reach 100, sadly. Or we're going to surpass that. I would speculate that there's at least another 20 murders.
BJ Randall asked, which is weird. He said, what is the source for the Jackson crime statistics?
So the internet, but mainly I would tell you what, WLBT and CJ LeMasters do a great job of, sadly, they have a Jackson homicide tracker. And it updates as there is homicides, so when they get time. So right now it's at 92. Today was 93, according to the city's official records. But there's one murder that happened on camera in Jackson, no doubt about it. But because JPD is not investigating it, it is not being counted as a Jackson homicide. I have no clue why or how that works like that. But it was the murder that happened at the M-Bar a few months ago. It is not being counted as a Jackson murder, even though it clearly happened on camera inside the establishment. Go figure. But I'm going to copy the link here because I've got it pulled up, and I'm going to drop it in the comments here. So, BJ, you can check it out, and whoever else wants to see it. This is where like I said, I always tell y'all, I never hide, where I get my stuff. I would love for y'all to be able to go look at the same stuff I do. All right, so I just dropped it in there. I'm logged in under my personal profile, Clay Edwards. It should be coming through now. But yeah, so when y'all see me post and I say 93 or 94 or whatever the number is, depending on who's counting, it's because the city is counting one less because of the not counting the M-Bar murder. Mm-hmm. So it's a weird deal. But that came straight from CJ LeMasters, who runs this chart, and it came from my source within JPD. So I have backed that up with as good a sources as I possibly can. And CJ said that in a public forum, so I don't believe I'm outing him here at all. You join our JXN Uncensored group because we have great conversations like that occasionally in there when we're not posting political memes. So I want to do something a little bit different, and we're going to backtrack to all the comments, and we'll run through and discuss what everybody wants to discuss. We've got a huge viewership right now for us. Thank y'all so much. MSU, LSU, Hell State. It was the most watched college football game of the year.
Yeah. It
averaged 4.4 million, and I think it peaked at 6.6 million for the last 30 minutes of the game. So, hey, look, I know that's not all Mississippi State. That's a lot of LSU fans and a lot of people who wanted to see the national champion go down. I get it. But as a State fan, I'll take as many eyeballs on us winning a game as I can get. So, hey, look, congratulations to all the college teams this weekend. Look, Ole Miss, I know they lost, but I thought they looked good. Lane Kiffin has got that thing offensively humming. They get that defense tuned up. It's gonna, no surprise, Lane Kiffin can coach. It's gonna be a good bright future at Ole Miss. Just hope that they never win against State.
Right, exactly.
Which if you know me, I've changed a lot on that. I don't put nearly the energy in that as I used to. I mess with my buddies and stuff, but moved on to trying not to die in Jackson every day. It takes up more of my attention nowadays than college football hatred. So I've got a lot more in common with Ole Miss fans than I used to. Mike Leach, he's a gem. Glad to have him in the state. So something else I saw today. It looks like Neon Dion, JSU Coach Prime, whatever y'all are calling him today. His high school team, their game got canceled this week because a player on the other team got the COVID. So, or a coach or something. And they're looking for a team to play. Man, what a missed opportunity for JPS. I mean, it would have been the perfect opportunity for the future coach of Jackson State, NFL Hall of Famer, Neon Dion Sanders. Coach Prime, as y'all are calling him. To bring his high school team to the city limits, to Jackson, to Hughes Field, or the stadium, or Forest Hill. I think Hughes Field, Forest Hill, and Forest Hill are the only stadiums in Jackson they play at. Anyway, so, but pesky little detail to the fact that JPS ain't playing football this year. You gotta hate that, man. I've said I was gonna never let it down, and I'm not gonna let it down. And before anybody tells me, but Clay, a Kosciuszko football player, is in the hospital with COVID. Well, look, man, we're praying for him, and unfortunately, we knew this would happen. You would get that one player that got sick and probably has some underlying health conditions. I don't know. I haven't. That's personal information with the family, and they have not released all of it. But that story just came out on WLBT. I do have it pulled up right here. I will pull it up real quick while we're mentioning about it because I don't want to. Being about a high school kid, I do not want to misquote. So let me read y'all this real quick. Kosciuszko high school football player hospitalized with coronavirus. First off, thoughts and prayers. WLBT. Kosciuszko High School is asking for prayers for a student that has been hospitalized due to the coronavirus. On Twitter, the Kosciuszko High School football team said the student, Cam Smith, is currently in Batson Children's Hospital due to complications from the virus. The team asked for thoughts and prayers. Quote, all your thoughts and prayers would be greatly appreciated during this difficult time. As you know, Kosciuszko pulled the plug in-class learning this week. I'm guessing this has something to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
No surprise. They've gone full virtual. And I'm afraid this is probably going to end up having a trickle-down effect. We'll see. Because all it was going to take was one for the MHSAA to freak out and cancel everything. But that's just me shooting from the hip there. I have no clue if that's actually going to happen. We hope it doesn't. So, all right. I had to take my jab at JPS for not playing. Mississippi lottery tickets are making about $10 million a week.
Okay.
Doing well better than they ever expected. And if you go inside any kind of convenience store or tobacco store and they only have one cashier, you're already well aware of this. Because you have to stand behind some jerk that didn't scratch off their barcodes, or they're picking 20 different Powerball numbers and 20 different scratch-offs. So, good times there, but hey, look, maybe a road will get fixed around here. But I have low expectations.
What about Bill 65 or whatever about marijuana that everybody needs to vote on?
Yep. When is that?
It's coming up.
Is that on the November ballot?
Yes.
Now that is to get it approved. Now I haven't done a whole lot of research on that, so it's not my forte necessarily. But is that to get medical marijuana approved?
Yeah, medicinal at first is what I understand.
So we'll do a little research on that. I loosely keep up with that. As y'all have heard me talk about it on here, it's just not necessarily my thing. But to each their
It don't
own.
have to be your thing.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying it's just not my thing, so I don't keep up with it a whole lot. If it's medicinal, you know, I'm just going to tell you, I wouldn't hold my breath.
People are saying vote yes to 65.
Vote yes to it, absolutely. I'm just saying I wouldn't hold my breath. Because I think the vote...
We will be the last ones. Everybody else will do it.
Yeah, so I think the vote is just to get it on the ballot the next time. It's not to actually...
It's on the ballot.
Yeah. I got to do some research. I don't want to get caught off guard talking about this. I just don't care, personally. Do it, don't do it. You know,
It's on the ballot.
I hope it happens. It says vote has underlying conditions in it. Yeah.
As in?
We'll have to do a little research on it. All right. Again, we're 3 murders away from tying the record of 97 homicides in 1 year, which was set back in 1994 during the peak of the crack epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that?
About? What'd you say?
The murder.
I'm reading things about weed. I don't know.
I know.
What?
I know. I mean, look, I'll just be honest with y'all. I do X amount of show prep. I kind of been really hyper focused on Jackson crime and the presidential stuff. I don't personally care about the weed stuff. Won't affect me one way or the other.
It might one day.
One day. I'm for it, but I by no means am I a professional to speak on it right this second. So I don't want to just shoot from hip here and be completely wrong.
What was your question, though, to me?
What do you think about the murder rate in Jackson?
I think it's ridiculous.
What would you do to fix it?
Well, I mean, I would get rid of everybody that's in charge, first of all.
Yeah.
Because they're part of the problem.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I mean, I feel like you have to start at the bottom, which might be our roads.
Yep.
And sewer systems and things like that. I just feel like you have to build it up.
Quality of life.
Yes.
Quality of life.
You're not going to go to the Metro Center and build a,
amusement park?
Yeah.
And stop the murder?
No.
So you're saying that Deion Sanders coming and winning some football games ain't going to stop the murder?
No. And I love Deion, and I think it's a great thing, but it's not going to, stop anything, or if he's not really invested in the city.
No, Deion's here for 2 years at the most.
Yeah.
Either
he's just here to put his foot in the door to go coach other teams.
Either he gets fired because they don't win any football games, or he gets hired because they win football games. There's no in between.
Yeah, I know.
It's either a stepping stone or a
So let's
or a dive or a nose dive into a pond.
Yeah. So that's just the way it is. But I don't know. You have to start at the bottom and fix things and work your way up.
Yep. The burning bush is...
Don't mess with my bush.
The burning bush is getting hot. All right. So did anybody change their presidential vote after tonight? And I'll know if you're lying or not. Because I know most of y'all. Sherry asked, what is the current murder number? We are at 93 officially, 94 unofficially. And the record is 97. So, and the unofficial number is the real number. So make no mistake. It's terrible.
Have you heard any more from the Metro Center lady?
No, you know, we never actually really talked about this Metro Center thing, did we? We did a post on Facebook about it, and then
it's ridiculous.
And then we kind of talked about it. You know, I don't think popping up a Pharaoh Ferris wheel and luxury apartments,
apartments, and then a what do you call it, bumper cars or
go-karts and stuff.
Go-karts.
The word luxury is very flexible. You know, just like when people call me a racist, you know, it's really hard to prove, and just like luxury is really hard to define. It's like, I don't know. Another man's junk is another man's gold, you know?
I don't know about any of that. I just know all this is bull crap.
A twin bed and a microwave oven over there would be luxury.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into it's late. It's 10:30. We waited till the election started. Not the election. We waited till the debate ended.
You're moving the microphone away from me. You're like,
I was trying to get
you've had enough. I can't talk no more.
Crystal does one thing. It's like I kind of come in here with a game plan and run down, and then she picks the most random comment not about what I'm talking about, to send me down a rabbit hole. So
I'm not trying to.
So I have to try to right the ship a little bit, or I'll go completely down that rabbit hole. So what did y'all think? What was the highlight of it? I thought...
You want me to look and I'll tell you?
Yeah, you were right. I can't read your handwriting. I thought Trump calling out Biden's son was the creme de la creme of it all. The little low blows were funny, back and forth. Biden called Trump a clown. Trump called Biden a fool.
Biden said the president does not have a plan. Trump, I did what Biden could never do. We don't trust Trump. We trust science.
You know, so Chris Matthews, I thought, did an absolute terrible job. I thought he started out good. His intentions initially, I thought, were good. And it was clear by the second segment that he was 100% with Biden. And that's fine. But he continuously cutting Trump off and setting Trump up with, for sure, failure questions.
Mm-hmm. Biden said we need to trust scientists that do not work for Trump.
Yeah. Meanwhile, so Biden said we do not need to trust scientists that work for Trump. Meanwhile, Fauci has been there since the AIDS epidemic in the 80s.
Which...
How
long has Biden been in?
42 years?
Yes.
47 years?
And then Trump said, you don't even know where you graduated. Don't say smart to me.
Oh, yeah. That, you know what? I retract my statement. The Delaware State thing, when Biden said earlier that he went to HBCU Delaware State, and and they have since confirmed that he did not. And you know, I will say, I said this on my personal Facebook. I was really surprised and actually kind of proud of Biden that he didn't just fake his own death right there on stage just to get off of it.
I was kind of waiting for it.
I mean, I thought he would come out and try to force Trump into saying Black Lives Matter and all kind of other stuff. You know,
Biden said he wants to open the country because it's all about money. He doesn't care about anybody.
And Biden also said, he contradicted that a good bit too, because a few months ago he said he would or a month ago he said he would close the country down and have a mask mandate for everybody. Mm-hmm. But then today he's all about the economy and keeping everything open, that it was Trump that shut the country down.
Right. And then Biden says, let's see, wants to get rid of tax codes. And Trump says, you know, those are the same tax codes they gave when Obama was in. Those are the same tax codes that they've been piling on for the 47 years that Biden's been in office.
Right. Through multiple presidents, conservative, Democrat, everything. I mean, are we seriously to the point that we're upset that a billionaire businessman took advantage of the tax codes that are available?
Well, Trump said, why did you not make any changes when you were vice president? You have done zero. And then they kind of went back and forth, and then Trump said, China ate you for lunch, Joe.
Yeah, the China stuff with Biden's son, Hunter, and whatnot was epic. Chad asked, who's in charge of deciding who the moderators will be? That's the Election Commission, because, as you know, I mean, the things are on every channel, the debates. So it's not necessarily, just because a Fox News guy hosts it, doesn't mean that it's only on Fox News.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to get multiple, of course, they're all going to be liberal moderators, because that's just, unfortunately, the way the media is. But, you know, so it'll be, that's why everybody was so interested in a Joe Rogan hosting one, because it's not like a moderation, it's like three dudes sitting in a room and talking. And look, say what you want. I'm all for disliking Joe Biden, just like a lot of people are for disliking Trump. But I would love to just see three dudes sit down, those two and a Joe Rogan type guy, and basically drink a beer for a few hours and talk. Mm-hmm. And then come out of it and see who's real and who's not. All their special interests aside, all their people aside, you know, the stress of all the lights, camera, action at you. I think that would give you a lot more idea of who these people are.
Aaron said, when there was nothing but crickets when asked to name one law enforcement group who backed Joe.
Yeah, that was great. Actually, I made sure, I begged Crystal to make sure she wrote that one down too. I said, please write that down.
It's in here too.
Yeah, when Trump asked him to name one law enforcement group that backed him, he, you know, you would have to think that question was going to come up. Mm-hmm. My buddy Salento asked, the white supremacy thing was my only issue. Yeah, you know, I just thought that, what do you say? You know, meanwhile, you asked Trump to condemn white supremacy. Well, no duh. I mean, but I'll be honest. You're not going to convince me that this white supremacy myth is real. There's racists everywhere on both sides. There's no supremacy. You're talking about a white guy that grew up in South Jackson here, who's a minority in 99% of the places I'm at. Mm-hmm. Me personally, you'll never convince me of any kind of privilege or supremacy coming from white people. But that's just me based on my day-to-day life.
Okay.
Other people may be different.
Trump wants everybody to look up the crime bill from 1994 for for super predators.
Oh yeah, so Joe Biden called African American males super predators in the 94 crime bill. That is documented. You can go find that anywhere on the web.
1994.
Yep. He also was a part of the Hillary Clinton stuff. Not Hillary, but the Bill Clinton 3 strikes rule. All that. You know, I mean, all these hardcore law enforcement, which is so funny. It feels like we're living in a backward world. In the 90s, in 2000s, Democrats were all lock everybody up. Now they're letting everybody free. Republicans are reinventing the crime bills. I'm just a little tongue twisted here because it's such a mind bleep that I can't even get my words out right. Now you have conservatives trying to let people out of jail. Mm-hmm. You have Democrats pretending they want to let people out of jail and saying they're for law enforcement. Meanwhile, they're supporting all these riots and pretending to call it violence. There's so much to unpack there. One of the things I found interesting was Trump and Biden kind of both they backed themselves into a corner with something, discussing supporting the riots versus the violent crime. Trump claims that there is more violent crime in the riots, but he's a pro-law enforcement guy. Biden does the complete opposite, claims there is no, they're all peaceful protest. Meanwhile, he will not acknowledge law enforcement. It's like everything's upside down. And I mean, I think we know that it oh yeah, and the other thing was...
He said violence was never okay about...
Who did?
Biden.
Yeah.
About the protest.
Yeah. But you know...
They kind of get forced into it.
Yeah. The thing that blew my mind was when they kept backing Trump to the corner about condemning the Proud Boys and white supremacy, they refused to acknowledge that Antifa is a real thing. You know, and I mean, frankly, I don't know why we keep saying Antifa. It's, for the most part, it is the Marxist version of the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah.
All white folks, 99% white folks, it's Antifa, BLM. I'm telling you, I mean, they're using BLM as a Trojan horse to sneak all this stuff in. Why we keep pretending this is not a thing? And everybody's, oh no, Antifa's just a way of, it's just anti-fascist. Well, the anti-fascists are the fascists. The Marxists, the fascists. I mean, you're anti-you if you're Antifa. It's crazy. Kind of stroll through the comments here. Nikki says, I said it wrong too fast. Stand back, stand by. What does it mean? I may have missed that. So not 100% sure there, Nikki. Maybe somebody else saw it. And because I did have to disappear for about 5 minutes. I may have missed that. Robert asked, why couldn't Biden condemn BLM and Antifa as hate groups like Trump did? The white supposed right. Yeah. You know, when you come up with a fancy name that transcends its own meaning, like Black Lives Matter, and groups hijack that name, and so now it's more than just a thing. Like, of course, Black Lives Matter, but now there's an organization that is taking donations and funneling that to liberal politicians and backing bailing rioters out of jail and all this other stuff. You have to condemn that. I'm sorry if the name, if you don't want to say Black Lives Matter is a bad organization because the name is such a tricky thing. It's like saying, I brought this up before.
KKK.
Well, no, not that. I brought this up.
Okay.
No, complete opposite. Complete opposite of what I'm about to say. Pretend that the KKK changed their name to Jesus Loves You.
Yeah.
And then they were running around burning everything down and rioting and blowing up cities. And you couldn't be like, Jesus loves you's bad people. You know, it's the same concept.
Okay.
Somebody has hijacked the name or the phrase that so many people agree with and made it their own. And it's like, no. I'm just going to start doing all these crimes and I'm going to call myself Jesus Loves You. You know, that's the problem. And it's like nobody wants to accept that because it's like, no. We used the word, we used the racial term. You know, we said the word black and we told y'all that this is it. So you have to agree with us. No wrong can be done under these pretenses. And unfortunately, after the summer of love, nobody agrees with that anymore. You've lost all the support that you had.
Somebody said, Danny White says the KKK isn't active anymore.
As active.
It's very much so active.
Allegedly.
No, it is.
It's not really. I mean, it's a bunch of drunks that meet up once a month at a barn somewhere.
Yeah, they just
we've had this conversation. Have you ever seen a KKK member? Yeah, I've never. 43 years. I've never seen a Klansman.
I have.
Never, not once. Where'd you see one at?
I'm just saying I've seen one, and
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm sure they exist, just like Satanists exist, but I've never met a Satanist. You know, I can cut on my TV any night of the week and see BLM burning something down. I can see Antifa burning something down. Mm-hmm. I have not. The only time I see the Klan burning anything down is in black and white footage on the History Channel.
Yes, I don't think they're active like they were anymore, but I mean they still exist.
Yeah. I'm just saying, man, I've never, ever, you know, I get accused of being a lot of things. I spent a lot of time growing up in the country. I've hung around with a ton of rednecks. I've hung out with a ton of people that you would probably look at if you were stereotyping and say, I bet they're KKK. I bet they're racist. Just good old boys, Southern white dudes. You know, if you watch enough Hollywood movies, you can say, oh yeah, they check off every box. I have never once in my life, in all the bars that I've been in, all the sticky situations I've put myself in, and the bad people I've hung out with, never once been asked to join the Klan, go to a Klan meeting, or knowingly met a white supremacist for that matter, or a white nationalist. Nikki
asked, so, you know, the KKK, like I brought up to you the other day, use crosses. And, in yards, are we going to ban crosses?
No. Mm-mm.
You
know, you can't ban anything. You got to let stuff roll. You got to let people be people. Mm-hmm. Well, Dee Dee, that's kind of what I'm saying. Is sure, I agree. I'm not saying I've never seen I've never knowingly seen a Klansman. That's the point. They're not running around in white hats and suits burning stuff down anymore. They're not a problem. They've been so, what's the word I'm looking for? Not demoralized, but they've been so torn down and beaten and defeated.
Yeah,
that
they've been.
Anybody claim it's like anybody that pretends to be a neo-Nazi. They're just not a threat. There's something that the majority of people look at and just kind of, when I say laugh, I just mean, you know, it's like in a pathetic way. Like, look at that idiot. Like, nobody with a lick of sense that has any importance in life looks at anybody that does any of that and thinks to themselves, man, they're really standing up for something. Like, no respect. I mean, they look at it as complete idiots.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm telling you, I mean, spent a lot of time growing up in Byram, out in Terry and Raymond, running all the back roads, Crystal Springs, never once. I mean, as deep into Rankin County as you can get. Even lived down in Simpson County for a minute. I've heard nightmares about it down there. Mm-hmm. And never once. Now, even...
I know 2 people that were involved, but they were much older people that have passed away.
Yeah. So, I mean, and there's that. You know, I mean, there's older people, but I just mean, like, I'm 43. Mm-hmm. You know, in my 43 years, I've never knowingly ran across one. Never been approached. Maybe it's the way I carried myself, whatever. But I just never seen them. Yeah. You know, never seen them parading through downtown Jackson. I never saw them
do anything bad. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, just never seen one. Never seen a Klan rally. The only Klan rally I've ever seen in Mississippi is in black and white footage and on A Time to Kill. Mm-hmm. Again, I don't want to. I know it happened in the past. I'm not discounting that at all. But that's the only time I've ever seen anything like that is in historical footage and Hollywood movies.
Well, there's a lot of hate nowadays, and it's from all sides.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm curious, anybody in here watching right now, especially my African American friends, in Jackson, but no, you know what? Just period. Have you ever seen Klan marching down the street in their suits? Or have they ever come to you? I mean, be honest to God. If you don't want to, if you're not going to answer truthfully, just don't answer. Have you ever seen them? And have they ever come to your house? Has that wolf ever been at your door? Because I just think there's stuff out of state, and I'm just referring to Mississippi here. North Carolina is a funky place. I saw somebody mention about North Carolina. North Carolina's a funky place, and I've seen some of that too. I don't know how old some of those documentaries are. They are in color. That's just a weird place. It's a Democrats majority state, and it's got this weird Klan kind of white racist kind of underbelly. But look, Mississippi, because we catch all the grief. You don't hear anybody hollering about North Carolina being some racist pulpit, cesspool, on the media constantly. It's always Mississippi, Mississippi, Mississippi. But I don't see that here.
Somebody said, I've seen them march in Brandon. I would like to know when and where.
Yeah, I mean, in their Klan outfit, marching in Brandon.
Please let me know. We used to get...
Justin says, well, no, they don't dress up in their robes and whatnot, but the looks we get from certain people let us know they are.
You can't do that.
Yeah, come on, man. You can't say that just somebody looking at you sideways means they're a Klansman. I mean, that is actually an official group, technically. Mm-hmm. I mean, somebody looking at you sideways and are uncomfortable is not the same thing. They're an asshole. They shouldn't do that. But they're not. Doesn't mean they're in the Klan.
Mm-hmm. Aaron says racism exists on both sides.
Mississippi isn't as stuck in our divided history as we are portrayed. We're not. And that's my point. That's what I'm trying to say is,
let's not. I don't know. It's just focus on things like that.
Yeah, like one of the things I always hear is, especially from my African American friends is, we got to have that tough. The phrase is that tough conversation. That tough conversation. Well, man, look. We bring that tough conversation here a good bit. I mean, this is not easy to sit up here and have this conversation. It's very uncomfortable.
It is, but most of us are not all. Yeah. I mean, if you look at everybody nowadays, not everybody's all black, not everybody's all white, or Asian or anything else. I mean, everybody's.
Well, that's the other thing that is really hard for white and black people to get through our heads. Is we are not the end all be all on either side here. There's a huge Spanish population here who are actually the largest minority group, or at least the largest voting minority group. I forget the exact number in America. I don't know what the numbers are on the mixed population, but I mean, and it's constantly growing. So it's just I talk about this all the time, and most of y'all know me in person. When we get out, it is so good to get out and talk to people that don't look like you and don't talk like you and don't vote like you and meet different people and sit down and have a real human to human conversation. It is, let's see, there's no pure breed. I agree with that too, Nick. Yeah, that's a good point. There is no pure breed. But I'm just using kind of generic how we're all categorized when I say white, black, mixed, whatever. I hate that
I mean,
too.
some people know they're white, and some people know they're mixed. I mean, everybody knows there's a difference.
Yeah.
But
I agree. I don't like any of this crap. I just, it's somebody said something the other day. They said, it's like you always talk about race stuff on your show. I'm like, well, man, that's all I've had thrown in my face for the last 4 years, but since Labor Day. Was it Labor Day or Memorial Day? When did the George Floyd thing happen?
Lord.
Back in May. I mean, it's been the whole summer of just this. I mean, at some point, we're just going to talk about it. I mean, you have to have a rational conversation about it.
Well, you're never going to get anywhere if you can't talk about it.
No. It's not a comfortable conversation, but it's a conversation I'm willing to have. I'm willing to listen. But I also like to be able to... I like this platform because we can talk without fighting back and forth and arguing. It's a way for us to listen. I can read what you're saying to me, and you can hear what I'm saying to y'all. And it gives me an opportunity to speak without getting flustered at being cussed out and chewed out and everything else. And I 99.999% of the time do not have that issue with anybody.
We're
black.
all Americans.
You know,
Point blank.
Yeah. The hooting and hollering and screaming typically comes from the North American white liberal.
Who cares?
Trying to virtue signal and defend everybody and tell everybody what they're supposed to be offended by and what is offensive. So, just my opinion. All right. Oh, Amanda asked, when am I going to be on Joe Rogan? Hey, look, Amanda, as soon as I was actually had a dream about that the other day. I would love, it is my goal this year. I mean, 2020, as bad of a year as it's been for the world, it's actually been a really great year for us. So 2021, the goal is to be on Joe Rogan or some national news thing at least once, you know, by the end of the year. I mean, there's little incremental steps. I mean, we're going to be on radio starting every Saturday this week. Starting this week, every Saturday we'll be on the radio. And it just keeps growing and growing. So,
people are just talking about, the more you talk about race, not you, but people in general, it just divides. It divides.
I don't disagree, but at some point you can't keep letting people say all these imaginary bad things about you as a whole, about your group of people as a whole. Mm-hmm. And if you continue to just not reply to it and it go unchecked, silence is complicit. Mm-hmm. And silence is violence, you know? I mean, you have to defend it. You have to kind of, at some point, somebody has to say, pump the brakes. That shit just ain't true. Excuse my language. That's only the second cuss word I've said the whole time. At some point, somebody has to be like, no, man, that ain't all of us. Mm-hmm. This all really got lit under my fire, lit a fire under my butt when I was working with a guy and he made the comment a couple years ago, if you vote for Trump, you're a racist. Period, point blank, end of discussion.
Not true.
And then the national media fed that same nonsense where it was, anybody that votes for Trump is a racist because we said so. Mm-hmm. And that's what started all this for me. Like, no, Hoss, you ain't gonna lump me in to that. You know, and that's I shared that. I've seen that meme floating around. It goes, sure, all Trump voters aren't racist, but all racists are Trump voters. Mm-hmm. Well, all Biden voters aren't pedophiles, but all pedophiles are Biden voters. I could say that. You know, it doesn't mean it's true. It
doesn't make it true.
You know, but it just makes it more likely. I mean, so whatever. Hell, they brought up the Charlottesville stuff tonight. Talking about Trump, whatever the word I'm looking for. They're talking about the Charlottesville riots and the race stuff and all this, trying to get Trump to whatever. The guy that put all that together, Richard, whatever his name is, he backed Biden this time around. Doesn't like Trump's politics. So the racist that put all that shit together in Charlottesville backed Biden. Mm-hmm. Now he's a felon and he can't vote, so it's irrelevant. But it tells you the mindset of the white liberal.
Right.
You know, I don't know if I have anything else to add to that. And the word I was looking for, they were trying to get Trump to disavow.
Okay, disavow. Okay.
It's a word I rarely ever use, disavow. They were trying to get Trump to disavow the white supremacists in Charlottesville and all that. Well, the guy who put all the Charlottesville stuff together backed Biden this year. Mm-hmm. So that was that big word that was eluding me there. How often do you use the word disavow? I mean,
Tonight.
You know, I may start using the word disavow more often. We had a great show tonight. That was fun. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate the comments.
Yeah.
I love that we can come together, and there's a lot of people in here I know. There's a lot of people I don't know, and there's a lot of people on both sides in these comments. And we
love everybody.
We do. You're going to have people that disagree with you, and that's fine. I'm here for all that.
Yeah, totally
here for all that. But the fact that you at least give it an opportunity to listen and check it out. So I want to close with giving one of our biggest supporters. He's the number one fan of the page. Kelsey Johnson. I want to give him and David Archie and the Hinds County crew a round of applause. Kelsey, we couldn't do what we do without you being our number one fan. I heard you calling to Kim Wade's show today. If you're not going to promote yourself, how can you expect anybody else to do it? I can appreciate that. So look, here on WLBT, Hinds County officials are taking a stance against loitering in the metro. Monday, a new program was launched that aims to get people off the streets. On any given day, you can find people in the road on County Line panhandling for money.
All day long.
All day long. They're calling it Operation Safe Corner Task Force. County leaders say that has become a safety issue for those. Let me start over here. County leaders say that has become a safety issue for those begging for money and for people giving it to them. Hinds County District 2 Supervisor David Archie announced the launching of Operation Safe Corners Task Force. It's a joint effort between Hinds County Sheriff's Department and Jackson Police. They are responding to some of the high-traffic areas with vagrants, providing them with information on resources such as shelters and soup kitchens. They are also giving them gift bags with toiletries and hygiene items, masks, and even food gift cards. Those behind the effort say they received calls from citizens who say they are scared to stop at red lights out of fear someone will approach their car. Supervisor Creedell Calhoun said, quote, "We hope that we get these people off these corners because so many of our citizens are afraid to drive in those areas." Now, I just want to stop right there. Y'all know I've said this. And the same people have called me a blaring racist for suggesting that bums should get off the street corners. Insensitive, racist, any kind of ist and phobia that you can be for suggesting that bums are bad for business.
I always give them money.
You know, don't. But at some point, you're going to pull up and they're going to have a little square on their iPhone just because so they can just run your card. Do not fall for these people.
Different.
Do not fall for this. But look, I'm not going to condemn what they're doing here. You know what? You're getting out, you're trying to do something. At least you're acknowledging that it's a problem and you're on record acknowledging it's a problem. So I will take that. The city leaders are asking for citizens to not give panhandlers money. They say they believe that many times your donations go to drugs and alcohol. Oh! Who's been saying this? Me. I've been saying it. I have. But now the Democrat Hinds County Supervisors are saying it. What's next? Chockway's going to say it's a good... Don't do it? Good Lord. But all joking aside, good job. I'm not going to... A step in the right direction is a step in the right direction. You know, I'm just kind of picking around here a little bit with y'all. But I do feel like it's about 25 years late to start worrying about panhandlers at County Line Road. Talk about low-hanging fruit.
Let's worry about them now.
But you know what? Better late than never. I'm not going to, we're getting close to election time. Yeah, I know that the city and county elections aren't to 2021, but whatever. All right, look. Great show tonight. Crystal, do you have anything you want to end with? Mm-hmm. I want to thank Crystal for actually co-hosting for real. We got the mic. We got the old mic back so we can both hear, or so y'all can hear both of us. Again, USA Pawn, thank you so much for coming on board. If you are looking for a quick loan, if you need jewelry, guns, used musical equipment.
I need all of that right now.
I know, all that sounds so good. TVs. No, they do not sell just used stuff. They sell new stuff as well. Hit up USA Pawn. The mega store on McDowell Road's got the guns and the ammo. All the other stores sell the jewelry. They do the pawning, the loans, all that good stuff. Check them out at usapawn.com. Pearl, Vicksburg, McDowell Road, Ellis Avenue, at Lynch, Vicksburg, and Canton. I'm telling you, you need a USA Pawn in the Tri-County area, and as far west as Vicksburg, they got you covered. The gym at Byram, best gym in Hinds County, hands down, probably the best gym in the Tri-County area. I just haven't been to all of them, but I will just go out on a limb there and say that. 24/7. Swimming pool, basketball, tennis, tanning beds, full, real deal, weightlifting, bodybuilding gym. They don't do CrossFit, but they have an area where you can do your own CrossFit. Tons of cardio machines. It's the truth. Real deal. I got the best shape of my life before I tore my shoulder up there, and it took me a long time to find a place that I was comfortable enough doing that. They also have a women's only workout area inside the gym. I mean, literally, there ain't no peeping in there. There ain't nothing. It is in its own corner with a wall, doors. Absolutely.
I'm not kidding.
So, if you're a female and you're not comfortable working out around a bunch of meatheads and a bunch of people you don't know, it is perfect for you. Check it out, thegym@byram.com. And last but not least, my good buddy Danny White with Father and a Son Southern Lawn Care. Hit him up. Danny, I know you're watching here. Drop the link to your Facebook page in the comments here, brother. And I guarantee you'll get a bunch of new likes tonight. Hit him up at 601-301-3210. We thank y'all.
Danny said Crystal needs guns and diamonds.
Guns and diamonds. I mean, talk about
really.
I always thought that cubic zirconia was a woman's second best friend, but I guess guns are...
Who said that?
Men that don't want to buy real diamonds.
No.
All right, y'all. Good night. Peace out. And stay tuned. We got a bunch more coming. Set your reminders for Saturday morning, 11 a.m., WYAB 103.9, the Save Jackson Radio. What do I want to say? The Save Jackson Radio Revolution begins. Thank y'all.
He sent